You're thinking about moving to Idaho and you're wondering the top reasons why people are moving to Idaho. Well, it could have things to do like this. And if you find this scary, this video in Idaho might not be for you. But we're getting after the top reasons why people are moving to Idaho, and we're getting after it right now. Hey everyone, so you're looking at moving to Idaho and you want to know the top reasons why people like me are moving to Idaho. We're covering that right now. And it could have something to do, like I said in the intro, with things like this. And like I said, if you consider this scary, then maybe Idaho is not the right place for you. But this is a big reason why, of course, people are moving to Idaho. It's not just about guns, it's about freedom and safety overall in general. So that's a big reason why folks are moving here. And we're gonna cover that, plus many other reasons why people are moving here. And maybe it's the right reason, right state for you to move as well. We're gonna be covering those reasons. And real quick, my name is Curtis with the Chism team, and my team and I specialize in helping people relocate here to Idaho, and we'd love to help you with that as well. All you gotta do is reach out via phone, text, or email, and we'll have a Zoom call. We'll figure out what the best area of Idaho, Boise, is right for you, the Treasure Valley, whether that's Boise, the city itself, or whether it's Eagle, you wanna be right on the river, right on the Greenbelt, in Meridian, right where all the great schools are, sports, the village, right in the center of everything. Maybe it's Kuna, Nampa, Caldwell, Star, Middleton, where it's a little bit more rural, slower pace of life. But we'll help you figure that out and help you make that smooth move here to Idaho, because I myself made the move here and I absolutely love helping people relocated here. I came from California. I know exactly what you're going through, and my team and I specialize in helping people relocate here. So we'd absolutely love to help you with that. Don't forget to hit subscribe to this channel, because we're dropping new videos every single week, sometimes even more frequently than that, about everything that's about living here in the Boise and Treasure Valley area, all the pros and cons, things you need to know about new construction, all the different neighborhoods that you might be taking a look at, so you can get to know everything about this area before you make that move here to Idaho. All right, so the first reason up is it's a great place to raise your family. So I came from California. Things are getting crazy there with what's going on in the schools, the politics there, safety, crime, etc. And we wanted a better, safer place to ultimately raise our kids. And they're at an age when we moved where it made sense to move. If they were much older, it would have been much more difficult to make that move. We may have still done it, but with my kids, my 3 kids being the oldest at 5 years old, it was a lot easier to make that move. And I got a whole video about preparing your kids to move and make that transition up here to Idaho and make it a lot smoother for them as well. So check that video out. But that's why we chose to move here, was because it's just a much better place to raise my family. And for me, my number one priority is my family at all times. And so that really weighed into our decision as the number one factor above everything else of why we wanted to move here to Idaho. We absolutely love it. My wife absolutely loves having our children here. You know, when she goes to the park or to the store, she doesn't get the comments anymore that she used to get all the time in California, which was like, wow, you really have your hands full. You know, kind of like really negative and kind of derogatory, because we have 3 children. We don't have, you know, the 2.1 kids or whatever the average is right now, 1.9, I don't know. But we got 3 kids. And so up here, there's a lot of families that do have more than 2 kids, larger families. And even if they don't, people are very supportive of that and are appreciative of that. So she gets much better comments here, much more positive comments of like, hey, great job, keep at it, you're doing a good job, you're doing good work, you know, can I help you? It's very positive, warm, and encouraging. That's just an outworking of how much more family friendly Idaho is set up. There's so many great parks, playgrounds, splash pads, you've got the river, you've got some amazing country farms to go to, especially in the fall time. So there's just so many things that are set up for families. There's also, you know, the schools here, the public schools, I will say, are not great, but there's a lot of really good charter schools and homeschool groups as well here. So if that's what you're looking for, which is what we're connected with as well, then it's a really, really great option. It's just really set up for families here in Idaho that you definitely are not going to get in states, especially like California. All right, number 2 is less restrictive gun laws for sure. So that was certainly a big reason. You know, I didn't want to feel like a criminal owning a certain type of firearm. And so that was a big reason why I moved here, so I could own whatever firearm I wanted, subject of course to federal regulations, but I didn't want to feel like a criminal because I own an AR-15. Right? Like, in fact, I would like to own a lot more of them. But that was a big reason. And, you know, You can open carry, you can conceal carry here. You don't have to have a permit. You can get a permit that allows you reciprocity in other states, but you don't have to have it. It's a constitutional carry state. They love the Second Amendment, and it is very safe here as well because so many people do carry. You know, of course, I'm not going to get into all the arguments around it, but it's certainly a big reason why we chose to move here. So that's a big reason people like to move here as well, especially if you're into hunting as well. The hunting here is absolutely amazing. If you get in a conversation with a hunter and if you even have a remote interest in hunting and what they're going to do, of what they're doing, trust me, they're going to tell you all about it. So be prepared for a really long conversation. But that is certainly a big reason why we moved here, is for the more open gun laws. Now, next one up is going to be access to nature. So we came from San Diego. We had the beach, we had the mountains, we had the desert, we had a lot of nature. So, you know, we had amazing weather. You're not going to beat the weather in San Diego, but we knew if we were going to be moving to a different state, we wanted access to nature, at least similarly to what we had in San Diego. And that's what you get here in Idaho. Absolutely amazing mountains. Of course, there's skiing in the wintertime, mountain biking, but for the kids, you've got the river. You can go and splash in the river. It's nice and cool, so it cools you off. But we just really wanted to be close to that nature. So we kind of traded the beach for the river here. So that's how we looked at it. And my children, of course, they miss the beach, but they love the river. So we had looked at some other states, like Texas, for instance, and there just wasn't really much access to nature nearby. You're kind of in a concrete jungle if you're moving to one of the big cities. And so that was kind of a big turnoff for us and why we really liked Idaho in particular. And then, of course, there was great weather. You have 4 seasons here. It's a little more temperate 4 seasons than what you might get in another state like Tennessee, for instance. You don't have the humidity, but you do have some high heat in the summer, and it does get cold in the winter, but it can be more temperate. You know, we're from San Diego. Yes, it's very cool towards the coast, but as you get inland, it's warmer. So the heat wasn't terrible for us, but there was 6 or 7 weeks during the summer, this last summer, where it was over 100 degrees. So you have to get used to it. But again, being close to nature, we absolutely love, and we love getting out all the time, getting outside, spending lots of times outdoors in the nature. There's so many walking trails around here, and just being out in the farmland, it's amazing. There's horses, cows, goats, sheep, chickens, everywhere. There's geese flying around, there's ducks, there's signs that say watch out for the ducks. It's like Make Way for Ducklings, the great book. So, we just see it all the time. My kids absolutely love it. So that's a big reason why we moved here to Idaho. And related to that is going to be a slower pace of life. So we do live out in kind of more in the farmland areas, and we love it. We purposely take the back roads. We really try to stay off the freeway, I-84, as much as we can. I would prefer if it took me an extra 2 to 5 minutes to get somewhere than getting on the freeway. Now, there can be traffic on the freeway that we're trying to avoid, and there can be traffic on the roads too, on the farm roads, because they are just 2-lane country roads that weren't exactly built for the large influx of people that have come. Now, there are a lot of roundabouts going in, so that helps with traffic flow, but if you hit it at the wrong time of day when there is a lot of traffic during rush hour, then you can kind of get stuck at the roundabouts for a little bit. But that being said, it's just a slower pace of life, how you drive around. Again, there's all this farmland. It just naturally slows you down and takes the stress off of your life. When I first drove here, I literally was looking at the farmland. I'm like, man, this is John Denver, country roads. This is amazing. I just had that song in my head. And I still have it when I'm driving around. I absolutely love it, and my kids absolutely love it too. So just the slower pace of life is amazing here in Idaho. Number 5 was affordability. So, moving from California, it certainly was a lot more affordable to purchase a home here than in California. Now, I didn't sell a home in California, so I didn't bring a ton of money with me, but it was much more affordable, allowed us to actually purchase a home that was suitable for our family and our needs as far as a growing family. We couldn't afford to buy a starter home. We couldn't buy a starter home in San Diego because we had 3 children. My wife and I both work from home, so what we needed was a larger home, and we just could not buy that in San Diego because that would be $1 million plus, $1.5 million home at least for what we needed. And we could get that for less than half the price here in the Treasure Valley area. So affordability was a major factor for us making the move here to Idaho. Now, that being said, there are things that are not affordable. The biggest things you're going to have the savings in is in your housing costs. So your mortgage payments, your utility bills are going to be less. However, your grocery bills are going to be about the same. Your gas is going to be a little bit cheaper, but still not that cheap. So a lot of your other costs are gonna be fairly similar. And finally, I wanted my tax dollars to go to things that I support. I definitely lean more conservative. I don't like what's happening in California. It's getting absolutely crazy there with what's happening, and we all know what's going on. I'm not gonna dive into exactly those reasons, but I wanted my tax dollars to support the things that I support, and I have the ability with my feet to vote. I literally uprooted myself to move to a state that much more aligned with how I think about things. Now, of course, I have friends on both sides of the aisle. I'm open-minded. I love talking to people about anything, as long as we can have a good conversation about it. But that being said, if I have the opportunity to vote with my tax dollars, then I decided to make the move to Idaho, where I could vote with my tax dollars instead of continuing to fund the corrupt system that we have in California and the insane politics and the policies that are being enacted there. So that was the final big reason ultimately why I moved to Idaho. All right, so let's wrap this up. That was an overview of some of the top reasons why I made the move to Idaho. Maybe those are reasons that you're making the move here to Idaho, and maybe they're not. Comment below and let me know what you think about that. If you are looking to make the move to Idaho, my team and I would love to help you. You just gotta reach out via phone, text, or email, and we'll have a conversation. No pressure at all, and we'd love to help you. And if you are looking for a place to live here in Idaho, check out this video, and it goes over all the top areas to live here in Boise.